Yum. Hello and welcome to episode 35 of the Knit Sip Happy podcast. My name is Nancy and I'm coming to you from the east coast of Canada, just outside of Moncton, New Brunswick. It is Saturday, May 11th. I just got home from a very long, busy day at work, so I'm hoping my words will come to me. As you can see from my background, I still haven't cleaned up, so I just whacked a shawl over the top of some of the mess. It's been busy. So episode 35, I'm going to put a screen here everywhere you can find me on the internet, Ravelry, Instagram, Facebook, and email. I am Knit Sip Happy everywhere. And thank you for being here. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes from the last episode. It was a lovely but quiet day. If you tuned into the last episode, we've had some trials and tribulations over here. Nothing serious, but Brad was quite ill and only got a little bit worse after I recorded. So it was a quiet day, and So in the intro section, you will have seen a little bit of footage from Booktouche, Boardwalk, and a visitor. Leanne from the Knitty Stew podcast channel came to visit. If you don't watch Leanne, I'm sure you all watch Leanne if you're watching me. Leanne is a flight attendant and lives in Calgary, Alberta. And she bid for a trip to Moncton. So it was a red-eye flight, and she had a quiet day on her own the first day because there were some travails to her trip, and I'm sure she'll tell you all about that on her next episode. And but the Wednesday, May, whatever day that was, this past May, I've lost track of the days. I'm not going to try and count back. I'll be wrong. You feel a little bit far away. Hang on. I'm so sorry. Okay. So Sophie, Cozy Meadow Knits, and I, we met up with Leanne and had to go to the Big Lobster in Shediac. I sent a picture and some video to my friend Allie from This Little Wonderful Life and Little Drops of Wonderful, because her and Dan love lobsters, and I can't believe I've never sent her a picture of our Big Lobster. So that's in Shediac, New Brunswick, which is about 20 minutes away from where I live. So we took Leanne there first, and then we headed for Booktouche. It was a beautiful sunny day, but the wind was incredibly cold coming off the water. I'm going to put this down so I don't guzzle it. As I said, it was a very long day at work. I feel like I could down that in one shot, but the episode would go to pot quite quickly. So we had a beautiful walk along the boardwalk and the beach and looking for beach glass. We had a nice view of Prince Edward Island and the windmills, and it was beautiful. New Brunswick showed off its best for our visitor that day. Then we headed back to Shediac to grab an early dinner together. We did some knitting, lots of chatting, lots of laughing, and it was just wonderful to meet with a knitting friend you've never met with, but feel like you know because you watch them on YouTube. And she is exactly like she is on YouTube. It was lovely. It was a great day. And we're looking forward to her coming back towards the end of the month for a shorter visit, but we're hoping we'll be able to snag another quick visit with Leanne at the end of the month. So you'll have seen some footage of that beautiful day and some gorgeous shots of the beach and the boardwalk. And I said, you can't feel the temperature because the wind was pretty chilly. So what I'm wearing, let's do that before I get really going. This is my Zweig pullover. As you will have seen in this picture, and I may just put it up again, Leanne and Sophie both wore their Zweig when we met up on Wednesday, and nobody gave me the memo. Nobody told me. So I was wearing my Sunshine Coast by Heidi Kiermaier. So I'm wearing my Zweig pullover today to make up for not wearing it on Wednesday. What I'm drinking a lovely, one of my favorites. It is a Riesling Traminer blend from Australia. Not too dry, definitely not too sweet. Yeah, perfect. I had a handful of salt and vinegar chips before I came in to record because I'm also a tad peckish. It's after 5 o'clock here. I said it was a busy day at work and we were a little later getting home. It's pizza night tonight, so no big major dinner prep, and I'll be switching to red wine for pizza later on. So we'll be rambling as we do all the way, but let's get started with finished objects. Technically, I have more than one, but I'm just going to show you one for now, and we'll keep going later on and you'll see. No, let me rephrase that. I'm going to show you. Back up the truck. I've said a lot of words today already, so I apologize in advance if I start to make no sense. I finished the Freckled Whimsy Shorties that I was working on for Sam. These were the leftovers of my Freckled Whimsy Advent skein that was very kindly, I won a giveaway from Jody and Tracy at the Grocery Girls. And I was sent this at the beginning of December, and I knit myself a full pair of socks for the Advent. I didn't actually count the stripes. Hang on, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So Sam is only getting 16 stripes instead of 24, but she doesn't mind. I just use some contrast yarn from Knit Pick Stroll. I forget the color. It'll be linked. Ah, yes. Everything I talk about will be linked below. There are chapters running across the bottom of the screen as well. If there's a section that you aren't interested in watching, you can fast forward through that. If you have any questions or if I've missed anything, just shoot me a message below or send me an email or message through Ravelry, any way you like. I'm always happy to talk yarn and knitting with anybody who wants to reach out. So back to these socks. The dark brown was the contrast that came with the set, so I just did that with the cuff. I knit these toe up and then did a fish lips kiss heel. I believe it's a fish lips kiss heel. I did my usual, I increased across, I guess it would have been here. Yeah, I increased across the bottom 4 stitches. So instead of having 32 stitches, my back needle, because I knit this in magic loop, my back needle had 36 stitches. I worked the fish lips kiss heel as a 36 stitch, and then I did gusset decreases. There's a mini gusset right there. So I decreased out the extra stitches in that gusset. I don't know if it's more noticeable. It's a little bit more noticeable there, right there. And there's a little tiny as I'm decreasing out. So that just gives a bit more space across the sock with a high instep or a wide foot. And these are going away technically Christmas, but sometimes I'll just throw Sam a couple pairs of socks every now and again, just for funsies. If she's feeling a little low or having a busy run and just needs a smile, I'll just grab a couple pairs of Shorties out of my stash for her and chuck her a pair of socks. So my first finished object. The other 3 finished objects are also socks, and they are my designs for Knit City Toronto. I'm going to show you all of them as finished objects really quickly, and then in the design chat section later on, that'll have a chapter attached to it, I will give you more details about all of that stuff. So we're going to start with, this is my collaboration with Yarn Indulgences, my friend Deborah. We decided to use her sock marl base again because it's one of my favorite sock yarns to knit with. It's blowing out a little. Hang on. There we go. So this is using, there we go. The colorway is called The Big Smoke, and the socks are also called The Big Smoke. Toronto's nickname is The Big Smoke. So I thought this would be appropriate for the first ever Knit City Toronto. Last year I did Parade of Cones, which was our homage to Montreal and the endless construction and traffic cones. And Toronto is, like I said, is known as the Big Smoke. So I'm going to hang on 1 second. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. If things look a little different, I had to change my camera settings and turn on the overhead light. I'm losing the light outside. It's gotten kind of gloomy. So I'll just splice those together. So the Big Smoke socks. These are our homage to the city of Toronto. Big Smoke is the nickname for Toronto, Ontario. And this was a super fun, I think so, cuff down with a garter edged heel flap and turn, gusset decreases down. The pattern, we'll talk more about the specifics of it. It's got a pearl panel on the back and the slip stitch motif just runs down the front. So this pair I finally finished. This was actually the first pair that I cast on back in February, but I just finished the second sock this week because I had to film a tutorial, and life being what it's been between this, that, and everything else, I hadn't had time or had forgotten to do it. So I got the tutorial finished this week, got the second sock done, got them both blocked, and they are ready to be packed in my suitcase. I'll talk to you about these a little bit later in design chat. And then the next one, you've seen this sock before. This is my collaboration with Kim and Colin from Gingersnap. This is I've finally decided on a name. This is called Put a Little Love in Your Heart. I love that song by Ali, and slow down. Put a Little Love in Your Heart. And I love the song by Annie Lennox and Al Green. And I just thought it was kind of an appropriate rainbow, you know, pride, acceptance, love, you know. I just thought with the hearts, it just felt like a good fit to me. It's a very long name and it's a very long hashtag, and I apologize for that. But, you know, the heart wants what the heart wants. It's Put a Little Love in Your Heart. So we'll talk more about these again during design chat, but they were knit again, top down, pearl bump stripes, a little bit of color work, another set of stripes, heel flap, turn, gusset, and into some wider stripes to take us to my favorite rounded toe. So these were the second pair that were finished. The third ones that were finished are a collaboration with lovely Stephanie from the Creative Knitter. I received this yarn just before Fiddlehead Fiber Festival and was pondering what I wanted to do with it. I'll show you the yarn and everything in design chat, the leftovers that I've got. This is, ooh, color, that's better. This is the Lake Ontario sock. The Harbour Weston Castle and Knit City Toronto are being held on the shores of Lake Ontario, and this Stephanie's color palette and theme, they're all water themed and beach kind of themed. And I have the names, and I think I've forgotten to write them down in my notes. I will see if I can find those, and I'll talk about them when we have the yarn out. If not, everything will be linked below. So this is super fun. Increases with the eyelets, decreases, and then the back is just plain this time. Cast on with the contrast color, one more stripe after at the end of the rib, contrast heel and toe, traditional, my favorite heel flap and gusset into my rounded toe. So I have 3 other socks knit here. I'll show you these in a little more detail in design chat as far as Stephanie's colors, and oh my goodness, the color. Sorry guys. So we'll talk about this stuff all a little bit more in detail in design chat. That way, if you're not interested, you can just hop on by. So whips. I have been primarily knitting on a couple of different samples for Knit City. The Lake Ontario socks, I wanted to knit up some different color combinations for Stephanie. And I'm doing a couple of samples for Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. So we'll cover the non-samples first. So I think I showed you these last time. In fact, I'm sure I did. I have a second pair of Titty Gaga socks. that were actually the first pair of Titty Gaga socks. I have one sock complete, and I have the second sock on the needles. So I'm knitting these Magic Loop on the ChowGoo Mini Twist 2.25 millimeters. I'm using Cami Jo Knit. This is one of the yarns that Camilla very kindly sent me over the winter. And this is the merino sock base, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and the colorway Mocha Rose. Super pretty, peachy, beigey, cream base. So those are, they've had a little bit, I think I took them to Knit Night to work on. Can't remember. So I've been working on these a little bit here and there. I thought I had them finished. I went into Ravelry today and marked them as finished, and then was trying to find a pair of blocked socks, and I couldn't find any. So I went digging in my basket of projects, and lo and behold, it was in there sitting with a part sock. So I had cast on another sock thinking I didn't have anything sock-wise to work on that wasn't a design, and I was wrong. I had this I could have finished off. So these I will finish off after I get back from Knit City probably. I'm not going to bother taking them with me. There's not enough on there to be worthwhile packing. So they will stay here in Moncton while I head off to the Big Smoke. The other thing you've seen before is my Gingersnap by Truly Myrtle. I showed you this last time. I said I was going to pick it back up, and I did. I knit a couple of inches, I think, on the body. The sleeves are done. The big sexy feature of this sweater is this beautiful panel, lace twisted rib panel that is on the cuff and on the bottom of the sweater, which I haven't gotten to yet. So I am doing my A-line increases down the side of the sweater. Speaking of modifications on sweaters, I have promised you so long that I'm going to do a video talking about how I modify my sweaters. I promise, I'm going to do it when I get back from Knit City. There will be a Knit City vlog, is my plan. And then the next video after that, that I do that isn't a regular podcast, will be a how I modify my sweaters. And I'm going to use the notes from when I did Wardrobe Toolbox for Libby at Truly Myrtle. I did a session for her subscribers year and a half ago, and I've got all of the notes and things there. So I'm going to go through those notes and edit them and make changes for things that I've changed since then. And I'm going to do a full episode so that if you have any questions in the future, I can put you towards that video, and I hope that helps as a resource. So I haven't forgotten. It's just been lifey around here, and I haven't gotten around to it. So this has been lovely. If I just need some plain round and round vanilla knitting. And I'm not far. I have to do a try on, probably about another inch or so. I'll do a try on to see where I'm at, how long I want the body. I think I want it, mid hip kind of range. So we'll see. I'll try it on and we'll go from there. So let me put that away. And of course, it's living in my beautiful Eldenwood Craft sheepy bag. Makes me so happy, this bag. So I'll put that down. I said last time I was going to pick up my Hint of Summer by Isabel Kramer. I have not. The samples kind of came onto my needles, and that went off to the wayside. So as I said earlier, I cast on a new pair of socks because I didn't realize I had a pair of socks to work on. And yeah, I grabbed this out of my stash. This is a turtle pearl color. Let me find the ball band. I'm sure it's in here. No, maybe not. Oh, yes it is. I'm digging deep into this bag. This is from, I got it at the Southern Wool Show in September when I was there last year, and I have, this bag matches Tracy's from the Wool and Wishes podcast. There's no tag in this bag, which is unfortunate. I think it's Rosie's Moments, but I apologize if I'm wrong. It's got the drawstring top as well as the two handles. And I had taken this, where was I going? Oh, when I was out with Leanne and Sophie, I had taken this and thought I might be getting close to the foot. So my sock ruler is in there and darning needles and all kinds of stuff because I thought I might get to the foot length and be able to work on the toe. We did more talking than we did knitting, as is usually the way. Back to, oh no, see, this is the wrong turtle pearl yarn. This is turtle pearl, striped turtle toes in the fingering weight, and the colorway is rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. It is a Big Bang Theory inspired colorway. So let me show you what the socks look like. I'm wondering, oh, hang on. There it is. Not in my bag, on my desk from when it's this thing about having a messy desk. Everything's there. So this is the color stripe order. And this is Emily's ball band. So with Emily, you get 2 skeins that are matching. And then I also got the, put this back in the bag instead of putting it back on my messy desk. I got a matching mini to go with it. So this is what I've gotten to so far. This is also working on my ChiaoGoo mini twist needles, 2.25 millimeter magic loop. I tried doing it on the 9-inch circular and I wasn't finding it a pleasant knit because the stitch pattern, hang on, I'll blow that out. Come back to me. Goodness, we're struggling with color today. No. I'm just going to pause really quickly and try and see if I can change my color settings again. Sorry. I'm making a lot of editing work for myself later, but these colors do look a lot better. So this is my garden fence sock pattern, which looks like this in this pretty flower themed gardeny variegated yarn. I was on Ravelry and saw somebody had done it in a self-striping and thought, wow, that looks like a lot of fun. So I decided to do that. That's the colors. So rocks is the gray, paper is the cream, scissors is the red for blood, I'm guessing, green is for lizard, blue is for Spock's shirt on Star Trek. So this is a simple 1/1 cable combo with a purl row and lots of plain knitting. So I did it all the way around the sock. I have turned the heel. I did again the Fish Lips Kiss heel with an extra set of stitches increased. So this one I have knit, obviously, cuff down. So on this last row, I increased 4 stitches. So this is a 36 stitch sock. I increased to 40 stitches, did the Fish Lips Kiss heel, and then did a mini gusset on the way down. So you can see that right there to decrease it back out to bring the back needle of the magic loop back to 36 stitches from 40. So these are for my son, Zach. These are his first pair of indie dyed socks. I hope I don't live to regret this decision. He normally gets the opals, the reggias, the knit picks, the commercial sturdier yarn. But he's a science nerd and loves Big Bang Theory, and I just thought these would be fun. So this is the first sock. I'm working my way down the foot, and yeah. I don't think these are coming with me to Toronto. I don't actually have my knitting planned yet for Toronto. I've got lots of things to do before I can go, so I'm trying to get those done first before I think of the fun stuff. So that is my last whip that is not sample related. So let's show you some, lying. Fibs. Telling you fibs. In my beautiful chestnut fiber bags, Christine in Nova Scotia. I got this one, I believe, last year, 2023. I needed to record a new tutorial for a little technique for closing up the hole in the corner of the heel. I'm going to add it to all of my patterns after Knit City. It's going to be in the 3 Knit City patterns. I had forgotten to record the tutorial on any of the sample socks that I did. So I needed a quick sock, a quick shorty sock to record that tutorial. And I think I mentioned last time, my son's girlfriend, Cassandra, loved her shorty socks when I gifted them for her birthday. And I thought, I know, I'll cast on another pair of shorty socks for her and it can go into the Christmas pile. Excellent. I went into my stash looking for something commercial and a little sturdy and found this Patton's Croix sock. It is a Fiesta Jacquard color. And then I had this pink Sadness Garn Sisu. So Patton's Croix is a thicker sock yarn. It's between a fingering and a sport, leaning to the sport. So I would do this normally on a 2.5 millimeter needle, and the Sisu also is a little plumper. So I cast on the shorty, did a short leg, and then tried to settle down to do the tutorial. Tried being the operative word. So I'm doing this on my 9-inch circular. I've just picked up the gusset stitches as I was trying to do the tutorial, and the colors are too dark. The striping getting into the frame is messing up the focus on the camera, and it just wasn't working. So I have done the heel flap, turned the heel, done the little fancy doodad in the corner, and started working on the foot and the gusset, and kind of realized, when I realized it wasn't going to work, it's basically been put down ever since because I don't have time to be knitting unnecessary things. That sounds terrible. This is a hobby and I love it, but this will quite happily wait until after Knit City. I need to cast on another shorty probably tomorrow and get that tutorial recorded so I can put it in all of the files for the new patterns. And like I said, if you've ever purchased one of my patterns before, I will be putting that in all of them sometime over the next few weeks. June, I would guess. Because when I get back after being away for a week, life is going to be kind of busy in the day job and real life stuff. So if I mentioned this last time, but if you are new here, welcome. Thank you for the crazy. I'm looking at the time clock on the camera. At this point, I'm going to have no idea how long I'm talking for because I've now stopped and started a few times and my timer resets every time. I'm going to Knit City, Toronto from Moncton. We're flying out on Thursday morning. Deborah from Yarn Indulgences, my yarn bestie, and I are heading to Toronto. We land on Thursday morning. Late morning. Setup is on Friday during the day, and the festival runs on Saturday and Sunday. And then I'm going to go and visit family who live in Kitchener and spend a couple of days there as well. So that's the plan. I have a couple of other things kind of stewing in the background. We want to go to Galt House of Yarn in Cambridge. Deborah and I want to go do that. And once we get our timing sorted out, I'll do a post on Instagram. I'll try to do a community post here and let you know if you're in the area and couldn't get to Toronto and want to come and hang out and knit for a little while, we can invade Galt House of Yarn and hang out for a little bit. So if that's of any interest, let me know and I'll make sure the information is posted. I've been to Galt House of Yarn before, but in their previous location, they've moved to a new, bigger location and brought in a whole bunch of new yarn lines. So I'm curious to go and see some things, and I need to buy some sensible, commercial, manly sock yarn because I won't buy any of that in Knit City. I'll buy pretty sweater quantities and sock yarn that will marinate in my stash for I don't know how long. but I need for my Christmas knits. I need some more commercial sock yarn. So that's what's happening over the next week. Like I said, I plan to do a vlog from Knit City. We'll see. Hopefully I remember to pick up my camera. I've been doing better lately, so we'll see how that goes. My next project, this is my first sample, which I'm knitting for Deborah at Yarn Indulgences. This is in my beautiful topsail canvas bag from Sadie at here in New Brunswick. I purchased this at Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. I tied on this cute little ribbon bow that was wrapped around the gift I got from Tasha at Fiddlehead Fiber Festival. And I'm also using my little pouch that I purchased as well at Fiddlehead. This was for a donation for the breast cancer fundraiser I was doing in April. So this is all kinds of fun memories, this bag. So what I am knitting is, if you've been on Instagram, you will have seen this because I showed off the technique I use with a button, controlling the 2 strands of yarn. So Deborah from Yarn Indulgences very occasionally carries this base. It is her luxury base. It is an alpaca, silk, and oh my goodness, I'm forgetting. I'm going to put it on the screen. It's undyed. This is the natural color of the yarn. It has, I don't know if you can, yeah, you can see a bit of a halo there. It is so soft. Deborah has one sample in it already, a Pebble Beach shawl by Curious Handmade, and she wanted another one, and I said yes please, because I have not knit with this base before, because like I said, she doesn't carry it very often. So if you're interested, back to the button really quickly, if you're interested in how this button works, you can go to my Instagram profile, or I will link the video. I've done a video tutorial. Oh, is it going to be that side or that side? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I have a tutorial on YouTube on my channel that shows how to do it and why to do it. You can kind of see as you're pulling, the yarn strands don't tangle. So if you want to work from the inside and the outside of the cake, which is what I'm doing here, I needed the yarn double thickness for this project. So I've got the inside of the skein and the outside of the skein coming through the holes on the button, and it stops things from tangling. This is not my idea. I saw this Chelsea from Legacy Fiber Arts, and I think she'd gotten it from Chili Knits. But it's something that I always do, and a lot of people have never seen it, so I always like to mention it. So this is all I have left from a 100-gram skein. As I said, I'm holding the yarn double, and I am knitting a simple thing. I have knit these before if you've been around. So this is very similar to a Sophie shawl. And if you've been around, I've explained this before. This project predates the Sophie shawl, so I don't feel bad about using it. It's a free pattern on Ravelry called The Simple Thing. It's a garter edged, it's an I-cord edged garter scarf / shawl. You can modify it and adjust it any way you like. This is my 50-gram mark, so I started doing my decreases, and I'm working my way through that. I keep a little stitch marker on the back here to mark my increases or decreases as I'm doing them, to make it easier to count my rows. So I am following the pattern exactly. I'm doing this on 4.5 millimeter needles, which I believe, I can't remember if it calls for 4.5 or 5 millimeter, but I liked the gauge on this. It's nice and squishy. So I have to get this finished and get it blocked lightly because I don't want to take all of the gorgeous scrumptious squish out of it. So this will be at the Yarn Indulgences booth at Knit City, Toronto. If you are going to be there. If you are going to be there, please say hello. So that is sample number 1 that I've been working on quite a lot. Sample number 2 that's been getting the most love because it's a bigger project, but also because I freaking love it, all tangled up down here. Hang on. This is being held in my beautiful bag from my friend Donna, who doesn't have a website, but she will be vending at Sisterhood Fiber and at the PEI Fiber Festival, and also I believe at Gagetown if you're in New Brunswick. So I am knitting up with one of Deborah's, another new base. It didn't come with tags, so again I'm going to put it on the screen. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about, but oh, that's a little brighter than it is. That's much brighter than it is. Are you going to reset? Are you going to reset? So it's still coming up a bit darker. That's probably closer. So this is a new fluff base that Deborah is carrying. It is a Surrey alpaca silk blend. Surrey alpaca silk blends generally are thicker. They're not as thin as mohair. This Surrey alpaca silk base has the same yardage as mohair. So for 50 grams, we're getting, I believe, 400 meters, 437 yards. I'll correct myself on the screen if I'm wrong. I have that information in my phone, which I'm recording on, so I can't grab it. So what I am doing is I'm holding the fluff with a skein of Deborah's sock marl. I believe this is one of her inner artist colorways. We just thought it would look really fun with the turquoise. Again, the turquoise is really blowing out. It's a little lighter, more aqua color. So I'm holding these two together and I am knitting a ranunculus. Again, if you're on Instagram, you will have seen this already. It is glorious. So I have been speed knitting on this because I really would like to have this finished and blocked for the festival. That's the back. So I have split for the sleeves. I then put the body on hold and knit the sleeves because then I knew whatever yarn I had left is what I had to finish the body. So the color is not right. I'm going to put a picture in here of my Instagram post to show you the color more true. And then I'm going to show you this. So we've always talked about using the sock marl base in a garment just to see how it would look with that black thread, that black strand running through it. So sometimes these yarns are called zebra. You can see there's a black strand running through it that doesn't take the dye. It just stays black all the way through. So some strands are just the dyed yarn, like the dyed natural, and some are dyed with the black running through it. So Deborah calls it her sock marl. And it's showing up a little more dramatic on screen. But I said, this is looking just lovely. As I said, I've never met a ranunculus I didn't like, which may just be the title of this episode. I've never met a ranunculus I didn't like. So this is where I'm at. I've got about 6 inches on the body so far. I'll try to, there we go. There we are. So I'm working down the body. I'm alternating skeins just for continuity to make sure that the color changes are not too stark. So I've got a strand of Surrey and a strand of marl and a strand of Surrey and a strand of marl. It's not necessarily the most enjoyable thing to do, especially on the sleeves, but the effect is definitely worth it. So I'm almost done. This is the end of the first skein of the marl. So I've almost done the first skeins, and then I will just be working down the body to finish off this marl plus its matching Surrey. So I just thought of something I was going to say, and then it ran away with me. Oh, so through the yoke, the increases in the lace, I did not alternate skeins. I just used one skein of the Surrey and one skein of the marl and worked my way down to the sleeve separation. And then I did a few rounds still on the first yarns, and then I cast on and did the sleeves, both of them in both yarns. And then I went back to the body and put the needles back on my interchangeable needle set. I'm knitting this on my Zings, my Knit Pro or Knitter's Pride Zings. So I picked up or just put the needle tips back on and then joined in the second 2 skeins, and I've been alternating skeins helically using helical knitting all the way down so far, and I will keep doing that until I think it's time to start the ribbing, till I'm almost done the yarn. I'll do as much ribbing as I can manage out of the yarn, bind off, Bob's your uncle. So the cast on for the Ranunculus, I used the alternating cable cast on that I have used before and done it in my Salty Air Tea. It's written in the pattern for the Salty Air Tea by Samantha Guerin, and I also have been trying it because it was recommended very highly by Noelle and Kelly from Knits and Pieces or Knit Chat Cafe. So alternating cable cast on, I did the Italian sewn bind off on the cuff because it matches that bind on nicely, and I like the finish it gives. Yes, it's annoying. Yes, I did it with the Surrey silk. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't so bad. So that makes a nice stretchy cuff, but gives a beautiful, beautiful finish. And when I held up my needles, you may say, but Nancy, they're 2 different sizes. Yes, they are. So I'm knitting on a 6mm needle is my gauge needle. This 4.5, is it a 4.5? Yes. This 4.5mm needle is the receiving needle for the stitch. So when you've got an interchangeable set and you're working in the round, it's sometimes shoving the stitches up onto the needle from the cable slows you down. So a little tip to go a little faster is the stitches going onto the needle is what determines your stitch size, your stitch gauge. I've just got all kinds of yarn here. There we go. So this is the size that determines the stitch. This needle is just feeding them, and they slide so much easier and off this needle when it's a smaller needle. So I'm knitting onto a 6mm needle to get my gauge, and I'm feeding the stitches off of a 4.5mm needle. Have you ever tried that? If you have an interchangeable needle set, it's a great way to make your knitting in the round more pleasant. So, and I'm using my little stitch stoppers that I got from Kim and Colin at Gingersnap, I believe at last year's Knit City in Montreal. So yes, Ranunculus, with the color looking a little off. Like I said, I will have put a picture up with how it actually looks. It's much softer, kind of a powdery aqua. Yeah, it's just so good. So good. And I can't wait to wear it, because when it's not hanging on Deborah's booth, I get to wear it. So that is my current passion project. And like I said, it's getting a lot of love because I would like to get it finished, bound off and blocked, and we leave Thursday morning early. And I've got knit work to do to get ready to get these patterns finalized and ready to go, as well as packing and the day job and real life. So I'm going to talk spinning quickly and show you what I've been up to spinning. Before I started working on the samples, I was just really wanting to do some spinning. I haven't done a lot lately, and I just felt the need for that rhythmic feel of the fiber and the yarn in my fingers. So I have shown you this spin project before. It's this fiber in these blues, greens, creamy yellows. It was a gift many moons ago from Deborah from Edgewood Garden. And I have shown you the singles. So this is my Lazy Kate. So this has 2 of my bobbins on at the minute because, oh, that's sticking out. Hang on. come on, there we go. So I was plying away. I'd filled all of these 2-ounce nano electric eel wheel nano bobbins are 2 ounces. So I had filled them up, but obviously this was spun finer, this one medium, and one that I had emptied was obviously spun a little thicker. It's the thing with doing a spin over many, many months, and I don't do a control card. I'm not a technical spinner that way. I just spin for the pure joy of it, and what I get out, I get out. So I still had fiber left, even though these 3 bobbins were full, but there was a third one. The third one is on my nano e-spinner. So I just grabbed some more fiber and started spinning a little bit. So I'm just going to spin probably to the end of this little bump of fiber, and then I'll start plying again, because then this one's going to get close to running out. And I want to make sure that whatever I have left, these 2, this bobbin and the upper one there, that I can spin a little more so I don't have a lot of leftovers on this one. And I know I can Navajo ply or Andean ply. Andean ply, I think, is when they do the bracelet method. I've tried doing it and I just about cut my hand off. I'm obviously doing something wrong because my tension went wackadoo and my hand went cold and quite numb because the yarn wrapped around was cutting off my circulation. Need to learn to do that better. So this is what I'm working on. I'm spinning this and then I started plying. Again, this has kind of got put to the wayside because I've been working on the samples. I'm just going to lift up very carefully and show you. I don't want to take it off the bobbin. This is my electric eel wheel 6. This is the much bigger nano eel wheel. It's hooked up to my battery, but this is what it's looking like plied up. So I'm really happy with that. It's lovely. Lovely, lovely. So I've been doing quite a bit of work on that. That was probably about 3 nights in front of the TV, just enjoying it. And yeah, love, 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 love. So again, that probably won't get any more love, 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 love until the end of May. We are going to, I didn't tell you what all we were going to talk about all the way through. So surprise, I have a gift away for you. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, there you are. So, again, if you've been on Instagram, you will have seen Tara from Fox and Pine Stitches is actually on PEI. Her family is here in Moncton. So, yeah, small world. It's a small world. So this is Tara's card. I will have her linked below in the description box as well. Tara has launched a new product called a Notion Nook. So this is the back with the stamp on it. It comes in 4 colors, and Tara asked what color I wanted. Surprise! So she sent me one for free to show off and keep and use, but I bought you guys one as well. So it's magnetic closure, which I thought was amazing. And it's got little things little tabs here that you can open it up with. And then all of these little, I'm trying to avoid the glare, all of these little sections have clip lids. So I will put a little video of me loading up on Instagram, loading up my Notion Nook earlier this week to show you. But this is what I want to send out to somebody. Like I said, Tara very kindly sent me one at no charge, and I paid for one, so I had something to give to you guys. So I'm going to get you to tell me below, what would you store in your Notion Nook? As you can see, I did scissors, measuring tape, try-on cords, a little tag, some stitch stoppers, some stitch markers and progress keepers. I forgot a darning needle. A darning needle will have to go into mine. That's note to self, because I'm probably going to take that with me to Knit City with all of my notions in it. I think that'll be great for travel. but it's a great size to fit into a project bag as well. And I love the magnet. Oh, that's just fun, isn't it? So tell me below in the comments if you would like to win this Notion Nook from Fox and Pine Stitches. Leave me a comment below and tell me what you would have to have. What is your must-have Notion to have with you all the time, and that you would put into your Notion Nook. So that's what the question is for the giftaway this episode. I will draw the winner on episode 36. Just a reminder, we haven't had a problem with spam because we've been using the lovely giftaway term. If anybody reaches out to you to say that you've won, it's not true. I will only announce the winner on episode 36. I will never reach out and ask you for money or let you know that you've won and ask for your mailing information. I will only announce it here on episode 36. If you do get spam, just report it and delete it. You can let me know if you like and I'll see what I can do, but there's not a lot I can do. I will just do the same thing. I will report it and delete it. So don't be taken in by that. I will only tell you the winner, episode 36, Notion Nook. What would you put in your Notion Nook if you won it? Okay? That's the giftaway for this episode. Whew, I feel like I haven't had a lot of wine to drink yet. And I was worried I was going to be slurping it back at a high rate of speed. Okay. Next chapter, we're going to go back to these design socks in our design chat section. And I'm just going to give you a little more detail and information about the yarns, the dyer, and the pattern itself. So let's start with I'll be glad this project has been housed in my beautiful yellow petal handmade bag that I got this winter. So this bag has been tied up with these sample socks since February. So I'll be glad to get this bag back into rotation because it's so, so pretty. So I didn't use any contrasts for this pattern. I just used the sock marl all the way through. So this is the yarn that I have left. I haven't weighed it. It feels like about 30 something grams. A lot of my testers, you'll see over the coming days, will be releasing pictures. They used contrast yarns. They did some really fun self-striping. So it's really interesting for me to see the pattern knit up in different yarns. So I'm just going to take this off the blocker really quickly and show you. So the stitch pattern just runs up the front of the socks. And the way these slip stitches work, it distorts the fabric and creates these really fun curves. And it reminded me of clouds, which is why we ended up with Smoke, Big Smoke, Toronto nickname. So, and I love to see the sock marl that has this strong horizontal stripe in it. I love to see it move, which is how I started my sock designing journey. My first sock design was knit in Deborah's sock marl when it was brand new. So I by the shore using a feather and fan that with some lace and some decreases that just moves and arches the stripes in the yarn. And this is doing the same thing, but in a really fun way. Again, we've got lots of plain knitting in here. It's not difficult to do at all. As I mentioned, it's knit cuff down. On the back, I've just got a purl stitch panel. These slip stitches can make things a little snug, so I thought some purl stitches across the back would just give us a bit more stretch up the leg, depending how long you like your socks and how wide your calves are. Mine are wide. Then we've gone into a garter-edged heel flap, slip stitch, heel, turn, gusset down the foot to a rounded toe. So when you buy at Knit City Toronto, if you're coming, if you buy any of Deborah's sock marl yarns, you will be gifted a coupon code to get this pattern for free. It's my gift to you if you come and grab some of this scrumptious yarn. It's an 80-20, but it's a lot softer. 80-20 can be plump and feel a little, because it's plump, I don't know what it is. It's generally a 2-ply. This feels much softer than a traditional 80-20. So as I said, if you're coming to Toronto, we will have little slips of paper with coupon codes that you can get a free pattern when you buy any color. You don't have to buy Big Smoke. You can buy any color of Deborah's sock marl, and we will gift you that pattern. What am I forgetting to say? This will be hanging at Deborah's booth. And I think that's everything I have to say for this one. Like I said, it was the first of the 3 that I designed and knit. Loved it. Knit super fast. Like I said, it's fun to see it working up and see the difference between those strong horizontal stripes to the whoop, whoop. So that is design number 1. Design number 2 is my 3rd collaboration. Kim mentioned that on Instagram earlier this week, yesterday or the day before. We started sharing some pictures. The testers have started sharing some of their pictures on Instagram of the Put a Little Love in Your Heart socks. I mentioned last time, where's the 2nd sock? I don't think I brought it in. Oh, yes, I did. So I mentioned last time, so if I hold them this way, we've got nice, clean knitting. Because we're using stripes and color work, there is naturally going to be a seam, because when we knit in the round, we're knitting in a spiral. So the stripes are going to be slightly offset. Because these were single round, because they're a skinnier stripe, using a jogless method didn't work. So you can see that we've got a slight offset on the stripes and the hearts and the stripes again. I did do a jogless join. No, not jogless join. Jogless stripe. Jogless stripe. I did use the jogless stripe technique on these thicker stripes, but it is still noticeable a little bit. So what I recommend in the pattern is, so you can see, we've got the stripes on opposite sides of the socks. You're going to put your heel on the front of the 2nd sock. And what that does, it allows when you're wearing your socks, this is the outside of your leg, clean. Outside of your left leg, clean. Inside of both legs, have that seam. It's not very noticeable, but it's just one of those things. Instead of having one on the inside, one on the outside, they're both on the inside. And that way we've got a nice clean finish on that outer edge that's more visible to you and to other people. So Kim and Colin have done 3 mini sets. I've put the pictures up before. I'll find them and put them up again. They've done a rave set. Leanne and Penny, my testers, both used the rave set. I forget the 3rd one. Heather is one of my other testers. And I think Rochelle also used the 3rd one, which I can't remember the name of. It'll be on the screen and on the screen. They are going to have these combinations at Knit City, and these socks will also be on their booth. They will have samples also of the other 2 colorways and combinations for you to have a look at if you're there. These sock patterns will be for sale on Saturday, May 18th, which is the first day of Knit City Toronto. By the time you see this, they will probably be in preview mode. They'll be available to be seen, but they're not available to purchase until Saturday, May 18th, which is Knit City, the first day of Knit City. So, as I said, you can get these yarns from Kim and Colin at Knit City, and what they will do after Knit City, sometimes they open pre-orders if they've sold out. If they haven't sold out, they'll load these colorways onto their web store, and you'll be able to order them. If you follow me on Instagram, I will make sure I mention it there to you. So, let me show you what I had left over. I had quite a bit of yarn left over. The actual amounts, I think I used about 50 grams of the main color, so I've got just under 50 grams. This is Silver Fox. All of these yarns are in their Lush fingering base, which is a 75-25. So this is the main color. And then I had 10-gram micro minis for this design because we didn't need a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what I have left. I used about 4 to 6 grams, about 5 grams for each color for my 64 stitch sock. So there is lots of yardage in here. If you are doing the 72 stitch sock, there is plenty of yardage in these micro minis for you to easily get a full skein. And I'm going to be able to do another full pair of these socks because I have enough of all of the yarns to do a second pair. I might do something fun like a fingerless mitt or a cowl, but I'd be tempted just to knit another pair of socks. We shall see. I'll talk to my daughter Sam. This is probably, she tends to be my leftover socks. This may be a little wild and wacky for Sam. She likes softer, more neutral colors. So that is what I have left from Gingersnap. I'm going to leave it in my fringe field supply bag because this will be something else after Knit City. And the last, I am going to have to put the colors on the screen because Stephanie sent them to me on Instagram. I think Instagram. I don't think I have Instagram on my tablet. I could be wrong. So, yarns. Stephanie sent me 5 skeins of yarn that is in this collection, and I have used all 5 in various projects, so we have tonals, we have this beautiful turquoisey teal, the hot pink, and the tan color. So these 3 are the tonals. There are going to be sock sets with these as minis. And they're also going to be available as full skeins, full 100-gram skeins. So the sock sets are going to be using the speckled variegated. Hang on one second, let me just shove these back in the bag. So the speckled variegated, which is this is the one I chose for the sample. There we go, that's better. With those shots of that teal and that tan on a kind of creamy natural base. This will be part of a 100-gram with a 20-gram mini. And then this is the other one for the sock set in these pretty pinks. And there's shots of kind of acidy, browny greens in there as well. So, as I said, I will have put the names of the yarns on the screen, and I apologize. I wasn't prepared for that. So this is the sample sock. All of these 3 socks will be at Stephanie's booth at the Creative Knitter at Knit City, Toronto. I have never met Stephanie in person, and I can't wait to meet her and give her a big squeeze. I was hoping to get to her yarn store in Ridgeway, but I'm not renting a car while we're down there in Ontario, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that. But yeah, I'm very excited to meet Stephanie in person. So I'm just gonna take this one off the blocker and show you. I guess I didn't really need to do that because I had the other socks. Whatevs. So this one is just plain in the back. Lace for me in socks, I like something not too lacy. Socks for me are worn mostly in the winter and I want warm. So a lot of holes, I'm not a fan of, anyway. So this is about as much lace as I like in a sock. So, come on. Come on. Super fun to see, the speckles and the variegations kind of almost made a stripe pattern on the plain. So it's fun to see that moving in this yarn. It's a really simple pattern. As you know, I like rhythmic, easy, not too difficult to focus on. As I said when I showed you these briefly, I've done the contrast. Cast on 1 round, last 2 rounds here are contrast, and then the heel and rounded toe. where are the rest of them? So this is the same vibe using the pinks. Super pretty. Loved these colors. Loved working with this one. And then I also wanted to do a sample using one of the solid tonals and thought this would be fun. So I've used that tan taupey kind of color with the variegated tealy bluey color as the contrast. So the same thing. It's 2 little skinny stripes here and then heel and toe. So all of these 3 socks will be on at Stephanie's booth at Knit City, Toronto. And this pattern will also be for sale on Saturday, May 18th. I'm going to be super busy. I'm going to make the patterns live in the morning and then I'm walking away from it. I'm not going to be doing any kind of marketing or fundraising for these because they are collaborations. So when I get home, I will do a little blast on Instagram. And when I'm here next time on YouTube, I will let you know that they are available as a little reminder. But primarily this is to have fun and collaborate and knit with fun yarns and be able to show you guys. Yeah. So that is Design Chat. Creative Knitter. All 3 yarn dyers will, of course, be linked down below in the box down there. And I'm trying to think if I've forgotten to say anything. Just get this stuff out of the way. I've got some things to show you. So let me just check my notes and see where I'm at. When I was here last time, it was the day before my birthday. I've already said thank you so much for the birthday wishes. I had a really enjoyable day answering comments and having little chit chats with different people, both on YouTube and on Instagram. Brad was working all day. I went out and bought my own flowers and picked up some pate and cheeses and little mini key lime pies, which were delicious. Yeah. So that was my birthday. I said I got to knit and I was home and safe and comfortable. Poor Brad was sick as a dog and having to go out to work. So I felt really bad for him. And thankfully, neither one of us had to cook dinner. We just put baguettes into the oven to warm up, cut up some cheese, put some chutney in a bowl, and we called it dinner. And it was delicious. I keep finding random sample socks for things because they're just shoved in my basket. So my friend Deborah from Yarn Indulgences very kindly put together a bag of goodies. Now, I do keep this podcast. I swear like a sailor. I'm prone to some sweariness, but I don't swear here, with the understanding that you could have littles in the room with you as you're watching, or if you're not a fan of that, I don't want to offend anybody. But I am going to show you a couple of notebooks that Deborah picked up for me. So this one isn't sweary. That's what I do. I knit things and I know things. If Brad was in earshot, he would have something to say about that. So it's just a nice notebook for me to use. The next one is sweary. So look away. I'm not going to say it out loud, but I found this highly entertaining. Okay, it's gone. It was a little F-bomb action, but like I said, we're not doing that here. We're keeping it. And then Deborah is also a spinner, and she gave me some, sorry for the glare, Spunky Eclectic. I've got 3 bumps of this. Doesn't say what it is, but Deborah told me that it's targi in these. Oh, again, blowing out. Let's see if we can't improve this by doing this. That's better. So bright shots of yellow, the purple, the kind of, really goldy yellows. I've got 3 bumps of this to spin. And I don't think I've ever spun with Targhee. And if I have, it's only been in a blend. So I am wanting to take part in, why did that go out of my head? Tour de Fleece. Tour de Fleece is a fun participatory kind of thing that happens online for spinners during the Tour de France bike race. And you spin every day that the bikers are biking. So I've got 3 of these, and they will be going onto a wheel in July for Tour de Fleece. That's the plan. And over the 3 weeks, it would be really great if I could spin it all up and then ply it all up. 300 grams, I'm not sure if I'd be able to do that. I guess it depends what else is going on. We'll be getting close to wedding. If you're new, my youngest daughter, Samantha, is getting married in August, beginning of August. So I'm not sure how much we'll be working and helping them out as we get closer to the event. The other gift that I got, lovely Leanne from the Nitty Stew, brought us both Sophie and I gifts. She brought Sophie, I'm not going to say because Sophie had recorded right before we met up, so I'm not going to say what she gifted Sophie, but Leanne knew that I would never make one of those, so she gave me something else. Anyway, this beautiful leaf that is designed to be a coaster, but I'm going to pin it to my IKEA board back here. So I'll be able to see it every time I podcast. When I'm in here working, I'll be able to see this and remember our lovely afternoon together. So Leanne made this for me, and that makes it all the more special. And then Sunday Fiber Co., a skein of yarn from Sunday Fiber Co., who I've never knit with before. This colorway is called Arc-en-Ciel, which is rainbow. My French accent there was absolutely atrocious. So this is probably going to be one of my Bouctouche inspired patterns, again as a memory of our day in Bouctouche together. So either By the Shore, Bouctouche Boardwalk, or my dune grass socks are all inspired by that beautiful place I love to be. I think I'd said it was going to be dune grass socks, and I think it probably will, because I don't think I have a pair. I've only knit the sample. I've never knit. So if you're new, when I knit and design socks, I keep them pristine. I don't wear them. I keep them so I can use them for photography later on if I need to. And I think this would be a stunning pair of dune grass socks. Very soft grays and blues and shots of greens and yellows. So thank you, Leanne. I love it. Actually, I may cake this up to take with me. This will be a good plan for Knit City. That might be. And then, as you know, if you've been around, Emily from Turtle Pearl is local to me. Turtle Pearl Yarns. Take this out of the bag. I have picked up a couple of skeins of, this is the Artist B-side. It's a Prince inspired color. This is going to Toronto to be gifted to my Instagram friend Karen. She is very kindly bringing me some things that she no longer uses in her stash. And I said, please let me bring something for you. Pick a turtle pearl color. And she picked this stunner off of Emily's web shop. So that is the way it's going to knit up. Can't wait to see. So Karen, if you're watching, this is coming your way. And then, inspired by Amanda of Sweet Skein of Mine, my friend who lives in Fredericton. She is a yarn dyer, but during her Valentine vlogs, I forget what she called them, she was knitting with Kiss Kiss. Come on. There we go. She was knitting with this fun Kiss Kiss with the pinks and the browns. This will probably be, I'll get 2 pairs of socks out of this easily. So Turtle Pearl Striped Turtle Toes. This is 75.25. And as you can see, we get 2 matching skeins and the stripes match exactly. and I grabbed the hot pink mini. This is, I think Sam would really like this color, so I will do a pair for her, and I will probably do a pair for me eventually. But there's enough in here in this set, 120 gram set, for me to get 2 pairs of socks easily. So that is acquisitions. So Knit City. Deborah and I have been talking a little bit online about what we're going to take for projects. I think I'm going to keep my projects all small. I'm just going to take sock projects. I'm probably going to take 3 or 4 skeins. Who do I think I am? 3 or 4 skeins of sock yarn and needles and a project bag or 2. I'm trying to pack a little bit light and not too much. Like I said, we're away for a week, but with some family time in there as well. But in reality, the Friday we set up, the Saturday and Sunday we're in the marketplace all day. I won't be knitting at all those days, just in the evenings if I'm not too knackered. I'm hoping that there's some great communal space somewhere in the Westin, in their lounge or somewhere, that we can sit and knit on the Friday night and Saturday night. Again, if you're coming to Knit City and you know that you're staying in the hotel, let me know, reach out, and we'll see if we can't arrange maybe a sit and knit on the Saturday night or the Friday night even. So I'm hoping for some good communal space so we can sit and knit and chat and hang out and watch all the knitwear walk past. The best thing about a knitting event like this isn't about shopping for the yarn, which is fun, but it's getting to see all of the knitwear in the real world and the samples and meet the makers and talking to the lovely knitters, because we really are the best. After the Titty Gaga fundraiser and my birthday and my tales of woe, and I was whining a little bit at the last episode, and I do apologize for that. Knitters, it's such a great place to come and spend time and hang out with you guys, and then talk to you in the comments and see you on Instagram. So as many of you as I can meet in real life, I would love to be able to meet in real life. So if you are coming, please don't be afraid to come and say hello. I was terrible for that too. When I saw podcasters or knitters that I knew from the internet, I would kind of be all weird and not want to say hello and bother them. You aren't bothering me. I would love to say hello and talk about what you've bought, what you're wearing. I will quite happily have a route around your shopping bags and see what you've been buying. I have no firm plans to shop. I still have my sweater quantity of Sonder yarn that I got last year in Montreal that I haven't knit, that I wanted to. There's a few vendors that I've never seen before that are coming from other parts. Louie and Lola is coming all the way from Tasmania. I would like to see her merino possum yarn in person and squish it. Brittany from Crux Fibers in the Yukon, Northwest Territories, up north, is coming in as well. So she's got some different bases. So there's just going to be lots to look at. The goal is to come home with some different things and some commercial sock yarn for my gift knitting that I do. So yeah, I've got to cake up some yarns and decide what I want to take with me for knitting at Knit City, and on the plane and on the train. I'll be taking the GO train from Union Station to Kitchener, either on the Sunday night or the Monday morning. I'm not sure yet. There's a chance I've booked to spend Sunday night as well, because we finish at 3. By the time we tear down, Deborah's daughter lives in Ontario as well. She'll be coming to pick her up, as well as all the booth stuff and the leftover stock. They're going off in a different direction. So I'm on my own Sunday night. Either I go to the Union Station and I go to Kitchener on Sunday. Sunday night means I have to take a train, then a bus, and then another bus, I think. I could be wrong, but it's definitely a train and a bus combo. If I go on Monday morning, it's just a train straight through. I don't have to switch to a bus. So when I realized that, I thought I could spend another night at the Westin and I could go see another show, another musical. I love musicals. I'm going to see Les Miserables on Thursday night. And Sunday night, not a lot of the shows play. They usually do Sunday matinees, but they don't always do Sunday nights. So Hades Town is playing on Sunday night. So I haven't bought my ticket yet. I haven't bought my ticket yet. We'll see. We'll see how things go. Because there's also a chance, depending on how our flights go on Thursday and are getting in to the hotel, etc., I may be able to sneak out to go see a matinee on Thursday afternoon. Maybe. We'll see. So I have tickets bought. I have a ticket bought just for Les Mis on Thursday night, but there's an option to see one, possibly 2 other shows. Did I tell you I had a crappy birthday month and I didn't buy myself anything? And I'm going to buy myself theater shows and an extra night at the hotel. Because technically it's still my birthday month until the 24th. My birthday was April 24th. And it wasn't, yeah, anyway. If you were here last time, you know my tales of woe, and I'm not going to talk about it other than to say the units are in, the cage is built, the alarm system is set up, we are go, 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 and everything is looking good. And if any of the little buggers come back, the alarm will go off, the police will come, and hopefully everything will be fine. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about, you can watch the last episode. I think that's it. And that was either a very healthy glass of wine that Brad poured me because we had a very busy day at work today, or I've talked too much, not drank enough. And as I said, I have no idea how long this is because I've been chopping and cutting and chopping and cutting. But I think I will say goodbye and not chew your ear off any longer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you all so much. I've just recently reached 4,500 subscribers, which is just one of those round numbers that makes you go, wow. I love coming to have a chat. I was considering not recording today. The upside to recording today was I was already had nice hair, had jewelry on, had my makeup on, and I could record. If I was to come tomorrow, I'd have to start from scratch and shower and do hair and do makeup. And it's a Sunday and it's Mother's Day here in North America. And I don't want to. I just want to sit and relax. I might do a little bit of knit work tomorrow. We'll see how the day goes. I don't think we have no special plans for Mother's Day. I think it's just Brad and I. I'll get a call from both of the kids. They're busy and that's fine. So I wasn't sure how this episode was going to go because I was feeling a little grumpy because it's been a busy few days. And that's great when you're running a small business and you claim it being super busy. It was good busy. It was lots of sales and lots of people coming in. Awesome. But I'm tired. So I've managed to be cheerful and happy. And this is what I get from you guys. I get just coming and talking to you about the knitting and smelling the yarn fumes and talking about the thing that we all love so much just makes me happy. And I thank you for being here on the receiving end to sit and listen to me. And I know a lot of you talk back to me through your TV or your screen. And I hear you. I hear you. I do. Thank you. I think I might need to go now because I'm drinking on an empty stomach and I think I'm getting a little tipsy. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you so much again for being here. Happy knitting, happy sipping, and I will see you at Knit City or the Knit City vlog I'll post in a couple of weeks. Cheers, my friends.